was it before you were able to, I suppose, get back on a horse before you could even think about competing again?
I think I was supposed to wait a while. I can't remember how. I think I did it in about 9 weeks or something. I got back on a horse or something random, but I did something like we went down to my neighbour's farm down the road, and we put extra high things on top of the mounting block. And I borrowed her one of her really quiet cobs, and I literally went from stepping across this mounting block onto the horse because I couldn't actually use any of my legs or my limbs at the time. I went around this on this cob around the road.
What would you say would have been sort of your breakthrough moment? Was there like a, 'cause obviously people say in their lives, or there's like a eureka moment. What was there one sort of thing where maybe the right horse came along, or
I think what happened with us, we were really, really lucky. We had this lovely horse called the Fuffle, and she was our point to point horse.
okay,
Anyway, when I was like 10, 11 years old, I used to lead her at the point to points, lead her around for the jockeys to ride. Anyway, she was a good racehorse. She won 2 races, but she wasn't terribly fast.
right,
Did break down twice. And so then we retired her. So when she was like 12, I decided she was going to be my venter. So I think we were similar age. So she was 3 years, she was born 1979, I was born 1976.
right.
So we're 3 years apart. So I think maybe I was 12 and she was 15. And I decided she was going to be my eventer. And everyone's like, what, really? This horse has never done circles in her life. Anyway, she was brilliant. And I came like second at the Novice Rider Championships, which is at Upton House today.
Yeah.
And I then got, I won some JRNs on her. Then I did some JOITs on her.
Okay.
And like this horse was like so good at show jumping, considering that she'd also done her life race. Didn't have a rail down. 1 year she only had a rail down once.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Oh.
She was awesome, and I got to the junior championships. And then at the same time as she went to the junior championships for pro pole. So her final year of competing, she was kind of actually carrying medal in the pole. Happened to be a bit of a Barney. That's my first horse.
Right.
Did I take to 5-star? Yeah, a bit of a Barney, and then his full brother, who was a year younger than him, partly pickled. They were the two I first took to. I think I did Barney around Burley fast.
What do you remember about that sort of quantum leap, sort of 4-star, 5-star as it now is,
Yes,
4-star?
yeah.
For any rider, just to even get to one of these events is almost a lifetime achievement, really. But what do you recall about? Was it Burley for you?
Yeah, Burley was the first one. Yeah,
what do you recall about that whole build up and getting to the event?
It is so exciting, and like I was 28 years of age, and so I've been working for this for quite a while. So it was like amazing to get there.
Yeah.
But you just don't know whether you're expecting something of your horse. This is a horse that you've produced. Everyone said would be better off as a hack because his legs were all wonky, and they were like, so then you sort of convince yourself, are you actually really ready for this? Can Barney and I do this? And so you have like moments of doubt. But I just thought I'll set off on the cross country course. We'll go from fence to fence, see how we do. Anyway, Barney went all the straight ways, 2 time vaults, and we had a clear round.
Because Burley especially has always got a reputation for being such a huge cross country course. But what do you remember when you were going around the cross country thinking, wow, this is fantastic, or you were just hanging on?
I had a good ride. Every fence I was just like, I've got to kick on. Come on, Barney. And they were just so big. It was like, come on, boy, and just giving them a pat afterwards. And it was just amazing. It was like you will never, ever get a feeling like that ever.
Is it that first one that stands out, the memory of all the 4-stars and 5-stars you've done?
I think it was extra special because Barney was never supposed to actually ever do any top level stuff, but I always believed in him, and people were just like, oh, maybe he's just happy the horses, and just showed me that it's all in the horse's heart, and it's not like how like a lot of people, they buy these flash horses, they've got lots of money, they don't buy themselves the most beautiful horses in the world, but that won't guarantee that you'll get around Badminton or Burley. Barney had wonky legs. He didn't have the flashiest movement. We were quite often last after dressage because his legs all went funny and he couldn't move. Not because he was naughty, he was tried, but he just physically couldn't do it very well. But in his heart and his head, he loved going around. So he took me around the biggest horses in the world and just did it with a big smile on his face. And he'd jump around with only like one down in the show jumping on the final day. He was a thoroughbred, and lots of people don't believe in thoroughbreds. And we bred him, so extra special.
You said earlier that the family perhaps weren't particularly from a money sort of background. Did it almost give you more satisfaction that you could achieve something like that, almost by coming up from scratch?
Yeah, definitely. I think even when we were doing the juniors, I think I noticed it at first, like everyone has double barrel names or posh names or something. My brother said, you'll never be any good at eventing because you haven't got a posh name. So anyway, so it's extra satisfying when you beat people with money and lots of they can go for lots of lessons and they can have the most expensive horse in the world.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is good about eventing is you can get in there and you can take on people in the world. You know, if you really ride hard, train hard, you know, and you get that relationship with your horses. I like to think I just build up a really good relationship with my horses because physically I'm not big and strong. I can't make any horse do it. I've got to get them to really enjoy it, trust me.
Because of that, your physical makeup, do you have to make any adaptations when you train, or do you have to sort of allow for that, or do you just carry on as
I
normal?
think they kind of get used to me because I tend to produce my horses right from the start, right from the very beginning.
Right.
I haven't bought many advanced horses, so it's all been like the advanced horses I've had, apart from Native Spirit, who I bought last year. Every horse has been produced right from the very beginning by me, so they're kind of used to me. And the only adaptations I have to make is because my ankle is now fused because of all the damage that got done to it. I had to have another operation to get it fused. I now have to ride with the stirrups right underneath my foot because I can't flex my ankle.
You're clearly as enthusiastic and as driven as you always have been. I mean, we're at the start of another year. I mean, hopefully, you know, we'll get a good run at it this year. What are your sort of immediate plans and aims and ambitions? Excited about, you know, the next year or so?
Yeah, I've got a really, really good horse in Native Spirit now who I've just, you know, I bought him last year and it takes a while just to bond with a horse. We've been doing lots of show jumping this winter and he's been going amazing BS jumping. And I'm hoping I can then get him qualified now for Burley in the autumn.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get cracking early, get to some nice big tracks to get him qualified. Yeah. Some lovely young horses, really lucky.
Yeah, and you say, you know, you can produce the youngsters. You'd hope that they would maybe, you know, follow suit and just rise as well, go through the ranks, and you know, keep you at that sort of level. I guess.
Oh yeah, I've got a couple who you just get the feeling when they first go around their cross country and they just do it and they do it easy. You kind of go, yeah, that's your next 5-star one.
Yeah.